As many of you well know, there's a NATO meeting taking place right now in Chicago, and there's the protests and all the activism surrounding that. Now, that meeting is just about over, and the NATO countries have come to some kind of consensus about what's going to happen in Afghanistan. By the middle of next year, foreign troops will hand over all command of all combat missions to Afghan security forces, and they will be taking it from there. There will be a withdrawal of most personnel by the mid of 2014, so which means still, at least for the time being, there will still be a fair NATO presence within the country, in addition to what is being termed a non-combat role for the United States and other allies for the next 10 years, as has been signed on by Obama. Now, more than 50 nations partook of this NATO meeting, including 28 NATO countries, in addition, the presidents of Afghanistan and Pakistan. As transition of security responsibility is completed at the end of 2014, NATO will have made the shift from combat mission to new training, advising, and assistance mission, which will be of a different nature to the current ISAF mission. Now, in addition to this, President Barack Obama did also thank Pakistan for now allowing U.S. supplies to pass through the country. As you'll recall, previously they were stopped in November last year after U.S. drone strikes killed a ton of Pakistani civilians and soldiers. Well, apparently now they've mended their ways, and Pakistan doesn't seem to care about that, or at least the government doesn't seem to care about that anymore, and U.S. supplies can now freely move through Pakistan. One good piece of information is that new French President François Hollande has said that the 3,300 French troops that are now in the situation will be coming home, and they will be coming home a year earlier than actually anticipated. See, now the problem is for Afghanistan, it's an illegitimate government. The people know it's an illegitimate government, and the world knows it's an illegitimate government. It does not have the support of the people, and the population is not going to back it up. It's basically a proxy government, which is why it needs all the foreign troops to actually keep it into power. This clearly demonstrates that the U.S., NATO, and Germany are determined to stay within Afghanistan under any kind of pretext or different definition. All of this is specifically to hold on to the untapped natural resources that continue to lay untapped in Afghanistan. A lot of the combat has made it very difficult to begin processing these raw materials because of property damage and insurance reasons. For example, it's incredibly expensive to insure any kind of company in Afghanistan. Now, this shows that NATO is not willing to give up that country because they know very well what's going to happen. The loss of resources would damage both the U.S. empire and would be of a negative consequence to Germany and the rest of the NATO countries. Because what will happen if they do pull out and decide to let Afghanistan actually run itself and let the Afghan people running things? China's going to move in, make deals with the Afghan government that are fair, or at least relatively fair, and snatch up those resources for itself.